Hello, it's John, Advanced Fisherman. I saw this at auction and took a chance on it, and well, it's locked up basically. I mean, you can turn it, but it ain't great. It's a 5501 C3. It's a newer reel that's made in Sweden. 2006 is when it was made, so it's newer. They're all made in China now, and they're not really worth having, but it's a C3, so it's a 3-bearing reel. Let's take a look at it. I've been told that this is wrong, but it looks right to me, and that this is wrong. So I may have to get not that it matters, you know, it's an old reel, but, and I'm going to use it. But this cap's supposed to be the same color as these knobs, and it does not have Abu Garcia on it. So this came off of another reel. They probably lost one or something crazy happened, but so it's a 2006 model. It's a left hand, my favorite. This one's going to go on a rod. I actually picked up an All-Star, made in Houston All-Star bait casting rod the other day that this will be perfect for. I put a Garcia on it, but it's an older one. I think this reel will be a better match for it. It'll be almost a time period correct match for it, and I will fish with it. The knob's just dirty, you know, typical. The star drags were a little different on these reels than the earlier reels. They got a different shape to them. But they said this was correct. I always ask the experts. When I get one of these reels in, I want to know if it's got the right stuff on it. And that seems to be missing that plastic keeper, but no. Yeah, it probably does. I got more of those. That's not a problem. So somebody's been into it. Oh boy. I'm gonna drop my little handy dandy screwdriver down there. I may never get that thing back. There we go. Well, come on out of there. Okay. Let's take these off. I think we're going to find out real quick what's come apart in this reel. I don't think it's grease choked. I think something has failed in this reel. It may be the anti-reverse bearing. Those bearings are free. I'll show you what I mean here in a second. Let me get back on frame. So that's spinning good. I probably won't need to upgrade those. Sure, this is made different than the older ones. I'm assuming this just, I don't see a snap ring on it like the older ones have. Sure hope I don't break something. There we go. Yep, cage just unsnaps. Then you can get the bearings out. There's the shims go on the drive side. There's that. We'll come back to this. Let's pull this cover off. Look at the level line. The problem's going to be right here. I have got reels stacking up. I've got reels on the way. I've wanted auction. So if you want to purchase some of these reels, I've had pretty good luck with some of my viewers purchasing from me. I'm not going to take that gear off. We'll leave that alone. Everything seems to be in good order there. We'll leave that alone. I've had a few viewers buy some of my reels, and so far everybody seems to be happy, which is a good thing. Happy customers is always a good thing. If you buy something and you're not happy with it, we'll work it out. Come on out of there. All right. Wow, that thing's stuck. Let's get the pliers out on that one. Hey, there it goes. Pretty gummy, pretty typical. I still don't think this reel's been used a whole hell of a lot though. So, you know, like I said, it's a C3, so you had two bearings, and the other bearings will be right here in the handle. There's the frame. This can pop up, and you can clean up underneath there. I don't think that's been changed. I think that was, the coloring was probably bad on that picture I took, and they thought that had been changed, but I think that's right. So my thoughts are I'm probably going to have to order a bearing for it, for the handle. The anti-reverse bearing, which can be hard to find for these lefties, I ain't gonna lie. Nope. Problem is 100% on this shaft. Let's take this apart. Yep, this is the shaft. I've got drag upgrades for it, but they've already been done. That's got the smooth drag in it. Wow. That is bizarre. It may be bent. It may be bent. Let's take the yoke off. Oh, wow. This ought to be interesting. I don't think I've ever seen one do this, but the problem is 100% in this shaft. I'm going to try to gently. Yeah, it's probably not going to let me. If I had to guess, this shaft is bent. Hey, it's loosening up. Good old Croil. I purchased it in the oil that creeps. This stuff here, Kano Croil, is some really slick stuff. One thing you can do when they stick like this is put the drag, star drag back on. Gives you something to kind of get a hold of. I'm gonna put the handle nut on there and lock it so I can spin it at the same time. First time I've ever had one of these stick with the handle. Absolutely not coming off of there. Absolutely not coming off. That's a serious failure right there. That's pretty bizarre. Shoot. It'll be hard to get this off without getting this off. I don't think it's corrosion that caused this, because I'm not seeing any corrosion. Okay, I got that. We'll figure that out later. Yeah. What in the devil? It's not coming off of there. The whole shaft is turning. The whole shaft is turning. I do believe it's bent. What we'll do is we're going to peen this right here. Hopefully I can get it to quit spinning. It's so far bent it ain't even funny. I can see it now. Yeah. I've got another one of these plates if I can get this one off of here. Well. I need 3 hands. All right. I got it. I think. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, I got the shaft to quit spinning, so we're good there. It's not, I don't know how much of this I had on screen here, but I had to peen this shaft post. Heat's not going to work. Heat's not going to work at all. It's almost like it's still got the snap ring on, but there's nothing in there. And that's not smooth enough for me. Plus, I feel like if it's bent, you know, we got problems there. I don't want to... I don't want to bend this plate. Okay, there it goes. I got it. What the devil? Yeah, it's bent. Now I can straighten that out. Wow, that was a first. I'm glad y'all got to witness that. That was the first time I've ever had one of these shafts on a Garcia get messed up like that. But you see what I did? I made a handle by jamming the handle nut down against the drag. That way it'd give me something to get a hold of. I mean, could it have had something wedged down in there? Could it not be bent? I don't know. At the risk of being a dummy and putting it back in there, look, it slide. It had something jammed in there. It's not bent. Okay, well, no harm, no foul. I fixed the shaft from turning. There's that. Let's take the drag apart and we'll be done with the tear down on this reel. Like I said, it's already been upgraded to smooth drag, so. And I've got brand new smooth drags over there. I've got brand new Boca bearings for this. I do not have a anti-reverse bearing. We're going to check it out next. So there it is. There's the whole drag. Let's check out this anti-reverse bearing here. I don't normally take these out. So this sleeve goes on there, on that shaft, and you put this in there and it's working. There's nothing wrong with that. We'll clean it up good. And man, I'm real happy with this reel. It was something weird. It's got a weird step down in there that I've never seen on one of these reels. Doesn't really make sense, but I'll clean it up. It doesn't have any excessive play. It's centered. Okay, well, it's a mystery. Well, stay tuned. I'll be back with the reel after I get it cleaned up, and I'm gonna make me a nice little fishing reel out of this. All right, this is John. I'm back with the cleaned up and ready to put back together 5501 C3. This is a newer model, so everything's all slicked up and looking pretty. Let's get it back together. I always use ballistol on these brake plates. Just squirt a little bit on there. It will dry up, but not be gummy. It will kind of it kind of takes like a, I don't know, a gelled state to it. It goes on there. And this would go on here. The next thing is the yoke. Give it just a drop of oil. Give the gears just a little bit of grease. I will be using this reel for bass. Doesn't hurt to put just a little bit of grease right there where that jack plate ramps up on the yoke. Okay, and then you get your spring plate. I put just a little dab of grease right there where the springs meet the yoke. Okay, got that. washer goes on the shaft. Remember, the shaft was locked up, and use some pin reel grease on, or real oil on this. I went in there and I got it all cleaned up good up in that handle shaft, and it's slick as a ribbon on there. I don't really know why it was locked up like that. We might find out there's another problem with this reel once we get it all back together. So all right, let's get the cowls out here. That cowl is empty. I just get a little dip of cowls smeared around with my fingers. All four of these drag washers are the same size, so can't really get that screwed up too bad, can we? This has already been upgraded to smooth drag, or it may have came from the factory like that. It'd be the first one I've ever seen, but being a freshwater reel, it's not going to see a whole lot of heavy pull on the drag. If I were using it for inshore, a big old red drum would definitely put some pull on it. All right. Need to fill my small tub up. Cowls. All right. I believe we are ready. This piece here can go either way. The older ones were only D-shaped on one end. These are the newer styles, the same on both sides. I cleaned the needle bearings on the let's put just a little bit of grease on those, on the anti-reverse bearing pretty well. Got them cleaned out really good. I put just a little bit of grease up in there and take a Q-tip and rub it around. Alright, so they're pretty clean. Just a little bit, just a dab of grease in those screw holes. And then we will drop you get your your spool release in the right place. Put your two screws in there. Couple things I was missing on this reel, and I'm not really too awful concerned about it, was there's a plastic piece that snaps on this spool shaft. Don't have to have that It's handy if you're going to be replacing spools, because you can pull this end plate off and this shaft goes with it. But I don't normally change spools on freshwater reels very often and don't get spooled, so we're not going to worry about that. This tension knob has one plate in it. I'll give it just a little bit of oil, just a drop. Then you had two of these concave convex washers. Just put them in there opposing. Okay. A little bit of grease on the shaft. Doesn't take much. Put your star drag on. You got a handle washer. Handle. Snap ring. These things will fly on you. Be careful. I have extras. I'm constantly putting them on because they tend to fly, and I never seem to find them in this shop. Just saying. Now, I was told by people who know way more than me that this is the wrong handle cap, so I will try to find the right one, but I'm going to put it on there for now. I probably have the right one in stock. I just didn't have time to look. Been a busy week. Alright, we'll give it... Oh, there's one that's loose. Okay, you see how... See how that's loose right there? It ain't supposed to be like that. So, this happens on these reels. I'm going to try. I'll try real hard to fix it. Probably should have fixed it before I put it all back together. Need 3 hands. I run into this a lot. Beautiful. Can't quite make 2 hands do it. Oh, Jesus. Well, the other option. I'm going to go off camera here for just a minute. I've got a press here. That worked like a charm. I have a 1-ton arbor press, and it tightened it right up. Basically just put it in a press and hammer down on it a couple times, and it smashes that rivet back in place. So now we got a fixed handle. Gears sound good. Let's build the other part of the reel. Excuse me. Snap that back in place. This goes in there. Slide this in. This goes into there. That rides up into that groove. And there you have it. Let's go the other way with it. I think that's the way it was. It will go either way, but they kind of naturally want to go a certain way. Okay, that's spinning free. Now you got to drop the dog or paw down in there, which is usually a challenge to my big fingers. Little drop of oil. Cap. No shims in that cap. Some real manufacturers do use a shim. Looking pretty good. Over here on this plate, definitely some good oil. I do not put grease on these idler gears. They're nylon. A little drop of oil never hurts the gears. All right. Let's put a little bit of grease in those screw holes. Okay. 3 screws. All right, let's build the spool. You had a shim, goes in there. Get that straightened out well. There we go. Both bearings are exactly the same, so you put a bearing in. Noticing some dirt on that spool I did not get off of there. Yep. Then it gets on these newer ones, and you can take some of these weights off. I'll probably leave them all on there for now, see how it casts. But it will go in like that. Yeah, I believe I got that right. On this end, the bearing just falls down in there. This gear snaps in place, just like that. Let's see how slick these. Yeah, bearings feel real good. And a little grease on the threads, and then put the main gear housing back on it. And I'm not sure, but it looks kind of odd there. I think maybe one of the flyweights snuck out on me on the spool there. We're going to pop all those flyweights all out. And none of them are wanting to cooperate. There we go. But then just lightly slide them back in. That's how you control how much this thing controls the cast, is by popping those flyweights out or in. But then when you put it together, there we go. That's what was holding it. The tension knob was too tight. And I'll give those just a little quarter of a turn maybe, at the most. Okay. One of my favorite reels in the world is an Ambassador, Swedish-made Ambassador. You can't beat them. Tough, a little bit on the heavy side, but heavy means heavy duty in most cases. Definitely does in case of fishing reels. If you remember when I got this reel, it was practically locked up. It was that shaft. I was able to remedy that problem. Nope. Pretty smooth. And there it is, folks. That's a 5501 C4 made in Sweden, 2006 model. That's what I was told. And I'm happy with that. That's a nice reel. I will definitely use it. This is John, Vintage Fisherman. Please like the video if you enjoyed it, found it entertaining. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see some more. I got more coming up. Gonna tear another reel down right now. Thanks for watching.